Want to know how to get your offer accepted in today's market? Welcome to
Friday with Friends.
So today we're talking about what is it going to take. We've got 4 tips to get your offer accepted.
So the first and most important is make sure that you have an agent on your side that understands today's market. The market is changing literally every day. Different pockets, different neighborhoods and towns are all different from day to day. So it's really important that you have a realtor on your side that understands what you need to do to get the offer accepted. What do prices look like? What do contingencies look like? Also, that realtor that you're working with has a great relationship with other agents where they can really work to get the deal done together.
Yes, and it's so important because you don't realize that when whatever we're talking about today is that the agent to agent communication. We've got to get as much info as we can out of that other agent. So if I have a good relationship, I know what I need to do to be able to get that information. The next thing is to know your numbers. And so it is so important that you know what your max numbers are, not just from a down payment or from a purchase price standpoint, but from a monthly standpoint based on if there's repairs needed, that you are so clear on your numbers that if we are using some negotiation tactics, you know how high you're willing to go, how high you're comfortable going, and keeping emotions out of it. So knowing your numbers is so huge so that we can be as aggressive as possible, but in a smart way.
Being smart also makes sure that you understand what some recent comparable sales have sold for. So on our team, our buyers agents are educating our buyers on what the surrounding market looks like. So a house just like this sold for $50,000 over last week. So that gives our buyers the confidence to go in with their best foot forward. But they also know, okay, if we went to this price, it'd probably be too high based on the current market.
Number 3 is knowing what sellers want. We feel like this is something that is what separates our team because we are constantly getting as much information as we can from the other side.
And this happens to me all the time with some of our sellers, kind of on the opposite side, where I don't have realtors contact me as their buyer's agent, contacting me as the listing agent to say, hey, what do your sellers want?
Before they've even submitted the offer, they're not having a conversation.
Right. And so that's a huge piece because our sellers might want a longer closing, a shorter closing. They might want to keep the place set outside, and that agent didn't know because they just simply didn't ask. When in reality, the buyer probably doesn't care, right? They just need to know that information and ask up front. So having a conversation with the listing agent and identifying what the seller wants is huge.
And that's what could make the difference in getting your offer accepted, right? Like the playset example is literally the seller wants to leave it and you want it, that's great. But what if you asked for it and they wanted to keep it? It's something so simple, so that is huge. And then the last thing is to use strong negotiation tactics. Obviously, price matters. Earnest money deposit matters. Financing options matter. But there's also things like how are you using the escalation clause? How are you using appraisal gap? How are you using pre and post possession? How are you modifying closing dates? Things that really make a difference that sometimes agents aren't using that we're always making sure that we're building into our offer.
At the end of the day, be sure that you are holding strong to your limits.
Yes.
At the end of the day, right at the top of this conversation, we talked about know your numbers and know where you feel comfortable. So as a buyer, when push comes to shove and you're in the middle of negotiating and they say, okay, fine, we'll accept your offer if you go here, but you know that your max price is here, that might be a conversation to say, is this really where we feel comfortable? Is this not the house for us? At the end of the day, it's not the right house if you don't feel comfortable. And having an agent on your side to help guide you through that definitely makes that a little bit easier.
Because we love to win, but we will never win at the cost of what it gives you that stability moving forward. So sometimes winning looks like losing, but we will do whatever we can to get that offer accepted and to do it in a way that feels right and that sets you guys up for success. So thanks for tuning in.
Friday with Friends.
Friday with Friends is our opportunity to chat about the real estate market, answer any questions you may have, so that if you have any real estate needs, we would love the opportunity to be your realtor of choice.
Bye.